Oh, he's got a pretty attractive queen jack of diamonds. Blinds are 60 and 120 at this point.
And he's going to raise here, makes it 325,000 to go.
Right behind him, Michael on the short stack with an ace-8.
All in.
He's going all in with the ace-8.
Action over to Chris Moorman. He looks down at 2 10s.
He's had this hand about 3 times tonight.
All in.
And he's going all in.
Is he all in too?
Wow.
Chris Moorman has announced all in.
I call.
Glenn has made the call with the queen jack of diamonds. Knows if he wins this pot, he'll be our champion.
Showed the ace-8.
Let's go, baby. Let's end it. Let's end it.
He is just risking it all right here.
All in. Glenn has both players covered.
He understands that even if he loses this pot, he'll have a nice chip lead. Playing heads up in case one of them win it.
Everyone on their feet. Here we go with the flop, and it's a jack, king, queen.
Wow, a queen and a jack on the flop.
He's out in front.
But both players have got a straight draw, Vince.
Deuce, deuce. Deuce, deuce. Deuce, deuce.
Michael Rocco needs a 10. Wow, stunning development here. It was a Picasso flop, all paint.
Glenn's out in front, though, Mike.
Glenn can win this tournament.
Here we go.
The turn card is
A 3. Now, because Chris Moorman started this hand with more chips than Michael Rocco, he will finish in second place if Glenn wins.
That's a big if. Glenn has still got to sweat cards. We're going down to the river.
Well,
The
the
most exciting
average-
hand we've seen this year.
Unbelievable.
It's an ace!
Wow! Unbelievable! Can you believe that? An ace on the river for the ace high straight for Chris Moorman. Wow, who can believe that?
Scott with king 7 of hearts. He's getting out raising chips. Makes it 240 to go. Into Brian, who has a 9-6 of clubs. Oh, wow. The 18 million is going to change things. He's going to make a big raise with that junk hand.
Sure, Brian's hand is a little too weak to call here out of the small blind, but it can connect on a flop pretty well. So he decides to come over the top of Scott, especially while Joey is very short and Scott does not want to risk elimination.
2.6.
Scott, of course, says, yeah, I know what you're thinking, and now it's 2.6 million to go, Brian. He's chose a great hand to do it with. King 7 suited has a blocker to strong hands, but isn't good enough to call.
Yeah, just a great read by Scott. Right back over the top.
Scott, one of the best players in modern online poker, showing that he's got what it takes to win in the live arena as well. He's made 2 final tables at the World Series before, but this is his first WPT final table.
All right, 4-handed poker. Blinds are 61-20. Action on Scott. He's in second chip position. He's going to fold, and now Brian with an ace-queen. It's a lot better than the 9-6. And he will raise it to 280.
Joey here has an 8-7 suited in the big blind. Some players like to move all in when they're around 20 blinds with these suited connectors, as they do fare well when they see 5 cards. Calling, of course, also a very strong choice. Joey wants to see a flop.
Oh, and the flop is beautiful for Joey. Jack 8-7, 2-pair.
Great flop for Joey, but also so coordinated that Brian likely to check back here and not put a lot of money in without improving. Oh, that's a way to improve.
Ace for Brian. He probably thinks he's in front now, and Joey's going to check into him.
You see, Joey knows that that is a card that he should be checking a very high percentage of the time, so he does it with his strong hands and his weak hands.
Hastings going to bite 375. Joey would like to get some revenge off of Brian.
All in.
He's going to push it right now, all in.
Joey is too short for any other option here, so he rips it in, tries to get value and protect his 2-pair at the same time, and he's pleased that Brian did not instant call him. He knows that he has the best hand now. Brian with a very tough decision holding top pair and the queen kicker.
The clock is ticking down, and he wants more time.
Brian considering whether he can have the best hand here often enough to make this call, getting about 2-1 on his money.
It's $2 million total.
He knows that he's in the lead some of the time, but that other times he can be drawing dead against a flush, and he does call.
Yeah, he's going to make the call. He's behind, but has a lot of outs.
Spades, a two pair. Brian has ace queen with the ace of clubs, queen of spades.
One bad card for Joe. He'll be gone.
Brian looking for an ace, jack, or queen. Otherwise, Joey Cowden will double up and get back in the mix.
Can Joe stick around? Yes, a deuce of diamonds on the river, so Joey will double up.
Okay, so Joey Cowden gaining a little momentum here. Solidly in third, Faraz fourth, Matt Stout still our short stack with about 25 blinds.
And the action going on. Joey folding. Scott Majerison, the other co-leader, also going away. And now Matt Stout. Uneventful queen six. He won't do it. And Brian Hastings finally getting a real hand, pair of jacks.
Brian gonna raise here into Faraz's big blind. Faraz with a pair of sevens. Is gonna get involved.
Doesn't re-raise, just calls it. So jacks versus sevens, two great talents battling. And the flop's at 8-4 deuce.
Good flop for both players' hands. Better, of course, for Brian, as he now has Faraz in bad shape, but likely to continue putting money in.
Yes, betting 325. And he quickly gets the call and the action from Faraz. See if things change for Faraz here. No, it goes the other way. Another jack for Hastings. Not that he needed it.
And that jack does add some draws to the board, such as queen 10, 9-10. Brian just gonna bet out here for 800,000. This is tough for Faraz. I really don't know what he's gonna do here. Very nice, wow. Nice fold from Faraz. Gets away, losing the minimum there. There's Brian's fiancée Sonia in the audience, cheering him on. We see her all the time on the tournament circuit.
Yeah, sometimes a player gets stubborn with a hand like sevens and just doesn't believe a guy like Hastings who could be playing anything.
Sure, there's a lot of draws he could have had there. Many players call that turn bet, but Faraz, sensing something was wrong, gets away.
Yep. Scott with ace-9 has raised, but Matt Stout with ace-king behind him. He's on the short stack, of course.
Rolling.
And he's going to shove it all. Hastings goes out. Faraz as well, and Scott doesn't even think about it. Gives it up to Matt.
Yeah, Scott's heard that song before. He knows ace-9 is not a hand you call the 25 big blind shove with. And as we take a look at the WPT Champions Cup, action with Matt Stout.
Yep. Oh, well, and he's starting to get some hands going here. Little rush. He's got a pair of 10s this time. And he'll put in the raise. 2:25 to go. Brian out and Faraz Jaka. Oh, wow. He even gets the better pair of queens.
Oh no. This is a disaster for Matt. His opponent's gonna re-raise him on the button. Matt and Faraz started this hand with the same amount of chips, so I would be stunned if he does not move in pre-flop over this 3-bet.
Oh, wow. Joey and Scott go away. Back on Matt Stout.
Even worse for Matt, one of his 10s was folded pre-flop, and Faraz has both his suits covered.
He's got about 2.3 roughly left.
All in.
Oh, he's going to push it. And obviously Faraz has to call this, insta-call. They turn him up, and Matt just getting the wrong hand at the wrong time.
Exactly. The right play from Matt, but the wrong time, unfortunately. Faraz here in great shape to knock out Matt Stout.
Matt Stout, 33 years old, living in Vegas. Third WPT final table, never won one. The man with the great laugh and voice needs to get lucky, and not there as a queen hits on the flop. Giving 3 of a kind for Faraz.
Now, Matt doesn't know it, but this tournament is over. He is drawing dead.
All right, Bart, let's see the turn.
And it's just another queen, that's
Okay,
all.
that's just a little bit of overkill. Matt says, these are yours now, Faraz. Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Now, always happy to see Matt Stout do well on the World Poker Tour, but he's going to have to wait a little longer for his first WPT title.
The man with the great laugh is not laughing now. He'll take home $189,000. Another one goes into the Everglades. Let's talk to Matt Stout. Very talented pro. This time with queen 7 of clubs. And he will move it to 350 to go. Joe Poker goes out, and now Scott with a decent ace-jack.
Scott has mixed up his approach in these situations between calling and 3-betting, but so long as he's the chip leader, it looks like he's going to lean towards the more aggressive option as he makes it $1.2 million.
Brian Hastings has to go out, and Faraz believes him as well. So the chip leader going to take that one.
Scott, one of the best players in the modern online tournament scene, which has become incredibly competitive over the years. Now showing that his abilities translate to the live felt.
Onward we go, and Brian with king 10 of hearts has raised to 350. A couple folds around to Scott with a 9-6 of hearts. He will play. And we will look at a flop. Wow, and the flop is a 9-6 deuce, just absolutely perfect for Scott, hitting top 2 pair. Oh, that's a beautiful thing to have happen.
Well, Brian does have a little piece here with 2 overcards, a backdoor straight, a backdoor flush draw, but Scott's got a hand that is likely to check raise on a texture where he's probably going to be check raising more draws than strong hands, as he's not getting to this flop with a lot of 9 deuce and 6 deuce combinations.
Scott hitting the top 2 pair with a junk hand, and he is going to re-raise right now. Not going to play slow.
And I like that Scott has gone with the check raise here. That will help balance with the times he check raises as a bluff. Here, he's got the top 2 pair, and Brian goes away.
And the rich get richer. And Scott is originally from England, and he says he's played more hands than the final table, all of them put together. How about that?
A bold claim that I don't quite believe, considering Faraz and Brian were both very active in the heyday of online poker.
A lot of hands, though. He's only 25 years old. And now he looks down at an ace-7 of diamonds with the button. And he has raised it to 300. Brian out. And Faraz Jaka with a real hand this time. Pair of jacks. And he's going to re-raise to $1 million.
Well, Scott, with a suited ace in position and plenty of chips, is going to make this call.
This could be a big pot. Pair of jacks. Let's see what happens. Another jack on the flop. Jack 7-3. 3 of a kind for Faraz.
And a dangerous flop for Scott, as he has second pair and the backdoor nut flush draw on a texture where he knows his opponent is going to follow through with a continuation bet at a very high frequency.
That is so true. And Faraz will do that. He bets 850, but with a huge hand, as we know. And Scott with second pair will make this call. We go in deeper. Turn card is a king of diamonds. Wow, now it gives a 4 flush to Scott on top of his 7s. But he's well behind with the 3 of a kind by Faraz.
And Faraz not slowing down. Gonna cut out a bet of...
Oh, it's all going in. The plaques, the chips. It's 1.6.
Scott's getting about 3.5 to 1 to make this call. I expect Scott to see a river. Not only does he have a draw to the nuts, but every now and then he has the best hand against something like ace-queen or ace-10 that's double-barreling.
Tough to get away from this. You want to see if a diamond appears. So he is making this call. We are going to the river. Can the chip leader hit his diamond and crush Faraz? No, it's another king. So just jacks full for Faraz.
Calling All in.
And he's going to go all in. Scott is just saying, I didn't get there. I got my measly 7s, but is it possible this guy could be bluffing all the way like this? Should I put the extra money in?
Yeah, and there's not that many hands that Faraz is going to run this triple barrel bluff with, and some of the combinations he's likely to do it with are stuff like ace 10, ace queen of diamonds, ace 5 of diamonds. So with Scott holding the ace of diamonds, he actually blocks a lot of the potential bluffs that Faraz could have.
But he's going to take extra time. He might just want to make the hero call here. We've seen that before.
So Scott goes away.
Finally does the right thing, and Faraz Jaka picking up a big one against the chip leader.